Hey, what's up, La Familia? You crazy football-loving nutters. This is Ray Hudson, and you are luxuriating in listening to the Inter Miami podcast with the stupefyingly magnificent Jay and Alex. Two lads who are as electrifying as a hairdryer thrown into a hot tub. Stay tuned, because you know what it's going to be. It's going to be magisterial with an amplifier.
The cross goes, he's done it again. Taylor squares it for Victor Ulloa. It's one up. Ulloa and Taylor. Job done for Inter Miami. Led in by Moses. What? 6. It's 2 for Miami. Damian Lowell doubles the lead.
Some days you can just sense something wicked this way it comes.
I'd say a great first showing.
Very strong.
No smoke, no issue.
No.
Everyone seemed happy. All around the entire night, thought it was pretty well-rounded and feel like that's how it should be. Initially, like that's what the vision was. And I feel like that was the first time it's ever been like that.
Yeah.
Call me crazy. But welcome, everyone, to the Inter Miami podcast. I am Jay Kington, joined by, as always, Mr. Than Harrington and our special guest, member of the pod squad and host of co-host of Away Days, and Dreaming of Freedom, member of Black Herons United. I'm forgetting all the other credits you have because it is a quite long resume, but happy to have you. We're talking about Mr. Cali Urrutia. How are you doing, bud?
I'm doing great, man. I'm one, impressed that you nailed the last name, and 2, that you nailed down all my credentials there.
I think I missed 5.
Nah, you're good. What is it? Yeah, I'm now part of the IMPC Universe, co-host of Away Days with very own Brandon Griffin and Dreaming of Freedom, co-host there, and officially secretary of Black Herons United. So,
hey, secretary, nice.
Yeah,
all right,
man.
Working your way on up. Than, how are you doing, buddy? How was your weekend?
I mean, it was good, man. I'm here, just enjoying a nice win from our boys, and then celebrating the Carabao Cup final against the upstart Newcastle United boys in black and white. And I'm just happy that one of us in this group is going to have some sort of silverware at the end of the season. So, yeah, that's where I'm at.
I was literally walking the halls at work today, and someone just goes, "Yo, you guys are so trash right now."
In my classroom, I have a giant flag of Bobby Firmino, and I have students that come in every day and like, "You guys suck." I'm like,
yeah,
especially for the Champions League game against Real Madrid. Like we went up 2-0 early, and like I was following it on my phone, and I was telling my kids like, we're up, we're gonna beat Real Madrid. And then sure enough, like the next day I walk into school, I'm like, no one say a damn word to me.
Yeah. Hey, look, we had a good run. Okay, we're gonna have a couple of down years, but this isn't the EPL podcast, at least not yet. We do have amazing, phenomenal, first time ever in the history of Inter Miami. I'm talking about we won our home opener. We are undefeated. Tied for first, not technically. We're in second, but damn, we've never been this high, and it feels so good. I hope this lasts longer than a week, but tough game coming up. Than, what was your very initial, I guess, reaction to this? Because you were able to view this on the beautiful new platform, Apple Plus, which I heard had 0 production issues, was just a phenomenal time. No complaints. You were just one happy camper with everything on that. How was it on the other side? Because I was actually basically next to Cali, being harassed by one of those really long sheets. Like they're always cool. I'm usually like close, but like not like that close. Man, I was just getting crushed all night. It was great.
It sucked. It absolutely sucked. First off, it looked like we were playing white v gray. You could barely see anything. You couldn't see the ball on the field because it was so whitewashed. All of the billboards that are around the stadium, depending on who was on there, you couldn't read. The commentator sounded like they just plucked her out of the stands and said, hey, go commentate a soccer match. Go see what you can do. Apparently she had a co-host. You could never tell the difference between who was talking and who wasn't. So that was fun. And then every so often the audio would fade out and it would sound like a robot talking through the microphone. And then when you think everything's getting better, then the video feed would cut out. So it was.
And I heard there were some issues with like the feed being delayed. So people were getting updates on like ESPN of the goals before it even happened on Apple Plus.
Yeah, that happened to me. I knew about the Kryvtsov goal before it even happened on TV. I was like, well, why are we having so many issues? And I understand like it's week 1, but even on like their, I don't know what they're even calling it. They're like wraparound show, which had Kaylin, Kyle, and all them on it. Like they didn't even give them chairs. They were standing for most of the show. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, it's finally glad to see we got you guys some chairs. So it was really
like NFL Live kind of vibe.
It was definitely, for me, a crapshoot. I know other streams like the national stream was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I was like, okay, cool. Can't wait to see what Miami has, for their stream. And definitely wasn't the same.
Well, it's mighty big shoes to fill when we're talking about replacing Ray Hudson as just the guy who was on My 33, right? Easy access, no real issues. There's going to be a little hiccups, I guess. That's going to be some that hopefully they can work through. I'll be experiencing that this weekend as I watch abroad. But man, hell of a win. Cali, quick thoughts on it. You were there with me. Overall vibe of the night. Before we get into the game, just overall high level vibe.
For me, it was probably the best atmosphere I'd been in. I missed the Orlando game last year because they switched it and I ended up not being able to go. But last night was, I think we were at like 98% full capacity. North Stand was bumping, man. Like I'd never seen Drive Pink like that personally. And it was awesome to be a part of it. Aside from Jay getting assaulted by that curtain blanket thing or whatever it is, man, it was crazy. I walked out of there absolutely doused in beer, which is always a great thing when you attended an Inter Miami game. So atmosphere wise, it was unmatched, like top atmosphere I've been in.
I agree. I mean, it had to have been the attendance record outside of the Barcelona game.
Yeah.
We've been begging just to see what this thing would look like. Maxed out for a game. I mean, we were really, really close to it. If we can, I think, keep that atmosphere, because I agree with you. That was like, I think the best it's been. I think everyone in La Familia and the North Stand was on the same page, all picking up the same energy from each other. I mean, it was a really, really fun, hell of a night. And, I mean, let's get into it, Than. Go ahead and break us down here on the game here, man. How to start? What do you think of the lineup too, man? Let's get into it.
So first off, we love our club. We love the club. We do. And we love that they communicate everything to us in a quick and reasonable time frame. So I was super stoked to see Coco out there getting warmed up, our little fashionista, running around with Joseph Martinez out there. I'm like, hey, where's Leo? Where is he at? Yeah, that was definitely probably the only negative I would say from this match was not being able to see Leo out there. But overall, lineup looked good. We had Calendar, Negri, McVeigh. I'm never going to be able to get his name right the exact same time every single time. But Kryvtsov.
Kryvtsov.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. Yedlin, Mota, Pizarro, Gregory, Stefanelli, Coco, and Yosef. It looked like it could be a potent lineup. I was a little surprised not to see Robbie Taylor out there. I thought he would at least get a shot on day one, but yeah, he is
still dealing with an injury.
And wasn't he in Finland getting his green card also?
You might be right. Listen, third shift life is a completely different world. I miss so many things. I'm just like, okay, yeah, I got it. All right, let's go forward.
He's trying to hang on. It's all right. Yeah. It's all right. But yeah, like, because I remember at one point, I think I leaned over before the game started. I was like, we discussed that at some point, one of the two strikers is going to get injured and we're going to have to just use one of them. And then here we are, game one, which as Phil said, it's not a major injury. It's just a minor calf strain. So hopefully we could potentially see him this weekend. If not, certainly for the following game here. I'd be remiss to not mention, as I told some people that I would, about the T-Mobile deal for Apple Plus. So if you are a T-Mobile subscriber, or I don't know, customer might be a better word, you get 6 passes, up to 6 or whatever per line. So if you're like on a family plan, then every line gets its own code. So you're seeing a lot of those giveaways go and partake. So if you have T-Mobile, don't forget to spread that love with the ones that you want to get involved in MLS. And if not, just keep your eyes open. Maybe reach out to a buddy who has T-Mobile, because I think everyone got it for the T-Mobile Tuesdays. Sorry for that being out of place. Anyway, on this lineup, let's get back to it, right? I mean, pretty solid. I think this is about the formation we were expecting to see, coming out of the preseason here. So I don't think there was any shock outside of the initial, oh my gosh, where's Leo? But, still, I think this is probably the best squad we could have put out there, minus maybe Robbie Taylor and in some capacity here. Than, go ahead and break us down how this first half, kind of all the action kind of seemed to be more on the back end. But overall, I mean, I thought it was a really, really great first half. Go ahead and break us down here.
Yeah, so, we kind of have bad first days. I mean, like you already alluded to, first win on opening day, and it seemed like we were about to have one of those again in the 10th minute. We had a pass back to Drake. Drake, he was under pressure, and he just booted it upfield. Unfortunately, it found the foot of Ibrahim. Ibrahim cranked one to his far post, thinking Drake was out of position, forgetting that Drake was a reigning goalkeeper of the year finalist, and Drake was able to parry that one away and push it into safety. I was glad to see that Drake made that move. He last year maybe would have let that one in my opinion. But his footwork is definitely something he's worked on in the offseason. It definitely shows in that initial save in the 10th minute. 22nd minute, we thought maybe we were going to get to see a little bit of magic from Joseph on his debut at DRV PNK Stadium. Franco Negri found him pushing towards the right-hand side of the box, and Martinez just missed wide, going past Pantamis on the right post there. 30th minute, the sense of dread would kind of creep back in as Kyoto bends in a nasty free kick, found Miller in the box. Miller chests it down, strikes it, goes off the post, which fell to Camacho, who was just sitting between Calendar and the net. All he had to do was tap it in. Like I said, panic sets in. I'm like, oh God, here we go again. Look over, offsides. It was fantastic. I was jumping up and down.
I was literally texting you when that happened, and the text was like, hey, so far we're playing great. Like, the pressure, the possession, everything looks good. I feel like, we've played games like this, and then we'll just let in a goal off a silly run. And as I'm typing that, it happens, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And then I saw the offside flag, and instant relief.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm glad you didn't send that text, because you probably would have jinxed us for the rest of the game. So I do appreciate
I just deleted it. I think I just deleted it off. I was like, nope, just done with that.
Just going to delete it. Fortunately for us, the home side would break the deadlock in the 40th minute. Mota curled in a short corner towards Gregory. I actually missed the initial flick on from Gregory, thanks to the whitewash on the TV. It looked like it just curled in past the post to Sergey, but Gregory had a beautiful flick on across the face of goal. Sergey finds the back of the net with was either his chest or his pelvis region. Not gonna say what it was. It looked like he just humped the ball straight into the back of the net, and it's all it takes. Put La Familia into straight delirium.
First day out in Miami, just pelvic thrusting. I love it.
Yeah, just pelvic.
He's already one of us.
Yeah. Riley said, "Dad, I'm going to score a goal like that." I said, "I swear, if you just start pelvic thrusting every ball, I'm going to be a little upset at you." So, let's just focus on what we got to get done here. But the 42nd minute provide the last opportunity of the half as the ball was curled into the box. We find the head of Kyoto, but Drake made another ridiculous save out to his left-hand side, quick reaction save, and then got bailed out by Coco, who cleared the ball away. And that's right about when the whistle blew for halftime. So all in all, it was a mixed bag for me at half. But Cali, what did you think of the first half?
First half, we had a couple scares, which is very on brand so far. But in terms of how Miami looked offensively, it looks like a different team from last year, almost completely. Some of our additions just are making such a massive impact right off the bat. It felt like Sergey didn't put a foot down wrong all night. Sergey was basically perfect. Loved Negri running down the left. Loved how Stefanelli played. Even Pizarro. I mean, we all gave Jay a lot of crap about his Pizarro love, but Pizarro, between what I've seen at the friendly against Austin and Saturday night, he's been very good. He's been very, very good.
I've been feeling it these past week. Yes.
And even Joseph, you can tell he was trying to kind of make things happen, and he had a couple of great chances. But I think once he's in form and him and Leo are healthy up top together, I think this offense can potentially be very, very, very lethal.
I was really hoping you wouldn't bring up Pizarro because I don't want to hear about it.
I was going to bring it up eventually, so it was only a matter of time. It was only a matter of time.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Jay, what'd you think of the first half overall?
I thought we started great. It looked really good. You could just tell the team's confidence, man. The unity was there. The cohesiveness was there. I really was a fan of how well the press was being executed. The possession, it was possession with a purpose. I mean, they were moving to attack. We were having, on the dribbles we were taking a much higher percentage, with 60% successful dribbles to only 28% for Montreal. I thought our defense was really keyed on. Of course, it is, just like Kylie said, very on brand for us to have individual mistakes still. We're going to keep working through that, but nothing too devastating. That Drake did play a pretty bad ball out, which, almost resulted in a goal, but he got back. And there's plenty more to say about Drake as we, get through and work through the second half here. But overall, pretty solid start. Given the preseason that we've had, there's a lot of room to be nervous, coming out with not a great record, right? A lot of people were really hyped after that Austin game, and I think we kind of carried that momentum in a game that we played them 2 or 3 weeks before and lost 2-1. I know it's preseason, so you're rotating players, but good way to come out, start the season, really set the agenda. And I'm excited. Obviously, really tough game coming up here, which you guys are gonna have a lot of fun with tomorrow or Wednesday, whatever the day is. This is going to be a really good indicator, and so will the following game. So look, we're going to see exactly where we stand within the first month, and I'm all for it. It was just a great night, great energy. I couldn't really have too many complaints in the first half, given what we've seen for the past 3 years.
Yeah, I'd say my biggest complaint maybe was, and Jay, we were commenting on this at the game, is that crossing into the box, we were absolutely terrible.
Yeah. We were so bad with crossing and anything set piece related.
Yeah, and even statistically passing, we were like, I want to say we're like 77, 78% or something like that, which is pretty abysmal. But so that's definitely an area that needs to improve. But aside from that, I really didn't have any complaints.
We were abysmal from set pieces and corners, but we scored off of one, and it took us almost all year to score off a corner. So I can't believe Mr. Pessimistic over here is going to say it, but stay positive, boys. We're going to be okay. All right. So diving into the second half, Montreal led off the 45th minute with a sub of Schwannery for Saliba. And then 61st minute, it was Rea for Braut Juilliard. 62nd minute, Stefanelli goes down. And it led to the season debut for Bryce Duke. Is there any update on Stefanelli's injury? Have we heard anything yet?
I don't think it was anything too substantial, not that I've seen. But yeah, he went down, he put his hand up in the air, and instantly I was like, well, that could be bad. I think it was just a little knock. I haven't heard anything about any substantial time missed or anything like that. Bring on the Duke of Los Olas himself, and as he did so many times last year, he is kind of a super sub. Saw some unwarranted criticism, I think, about just really harsh, but for his size, he'll get bodied off balls occasionally, but man, he is quick and he was very agile, switching directions with his feet and getting, around defenders and helping create that offense that we needed, which, as you're going to get to here in a very short amount of time was refreshing and helped us seal this game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I would agree with you. There was very unfair criticism of Bryce's play. Again, remind everybody it's week 1, so everybody's shaking a little bit of the remaining rust off. So, but yeah, moving forward, 68th minute double sub. We have Lassiter for Coco and Borgelin for Josef. 8 minutes longer than I think they wanted Josef out there. I think he was trying to be capped around the 60th minute ish. So, overall solid. I would say solid debut for Josef. Definitely looked like he was going to be able to get into the flow of things once he's 100% healthy. But anyways, it was Borgelin's time to shine, and boy, did he ever. Pizarro in the 76th minute, he curled a box in from the right-hand side of the box, which gets punched out by Pantemis. Duke, it looked like he was going to hit a one-time banger. I wanted that ball to go in more than life itself.
That back heel flick.
Oh, man, yeah.
No,
he came through.
No. He banged it and it deflected off the player, then fell to Lassiter.
He did attempt the back heel flick.
He did attempt the back heel flick, which was probably where people were getting that criticism.
I think he was honestly, if he was 5 feet closer to the goal, it was going in.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe 10 feet closer to the goal. It was a slow roller, but no, he hit some venom on the one that got deflected.
Yeah. So that volley got blocked. Lassiter, I know you're surprised. He hits the post, and the ball falls to Borgelin, and kind of like our last Inter Miami FC or CF2 player Emerson. It's chaos in the box. Absolute chaos in the box. Borgelin hits the defender who's on the line, but then he takes his time, slots it perfectly between Pantemis and the defender, and scores his first ever MLS goal. Good on you. If you haven't followed the kid before, he is a goal-scoring machine from our second team. Absolutely thrilled, and he gives us another height piece if we have Mabika and him out there on a corner or a set piece.
And Leo, dude, we got some height now. Yeah.
So maybe we'll
Sergey. He is a grown man out there. I mean, he is 6'5". He's quick. He's pretty limber with it. Like he was disrespecting defenders, and I think the more comfortable he'll get, because there were a couple mistakes, so you could tell, just first team game type of mistakes, but like he is he seems to be kind of total package. Like I don't want to compare him to like DK or anything like that, but the dude can box out, hold his own, be a target man. His calmness in the box after having that first one cleared off the line and then slotting between the keeper and the defender was, third time's a charm, right? Post cleared off the line and bam, consistency. Very similar to, you said, Emerson with that, goal he had where had to give it a few tries, but the future is very bright. It'll be interesting to see exactly how much playing time he does get. I think we'll probably continue to worry about like the load management, if you want a hot NBA term right now, but of Joseph Martinez and Leo. But again, look, it's very rare everyone can play 34 games. Not everyone's built like Chris McVay, right? Injuries happen. So knowing we have him and he'll continue to develop is going to be, I think, a great asset to have, because he looks like he could be the future.
Yeah, and on top of everything, he's a local product, South Florida native of Asian descent, first homegrown player to score for the club ever. And I want to say the last 10 minutes of the game, he was just dominating the back line. He was doing whatever he wanted. That trio of him, Duke and Lassiter attacking at the end there was just, they were doing whatever they wanted. Like that second half, the last half of the second half, I guess, if you want to call it that way, I think we were just toying with them. It was, like it never felt like Montreal was ever getting back in the game at that point.
Yeah. And I mean, Lassiter, he might not be the the goal scoring threat. Like, he will score. I mean, he did hit the post, but it was a pretty thin angle, so you can't really be too mad about that. But just coming on with his speed late in games is going to just open it up for, like you said, the last really, I guess, quarter of the match, right? It'll be really, really fun to watch. I've already seen people dubbing the name with the Haitian Holland. So
I'm gonna laugh. I hate it, but I'm gonna laugh.
He looks more like a young Lukaku out there, just, after, or I should say before Lukaku got involved with all the fine eateries of Italy and England. So
he's got the body.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but moving on. 83rd minute, double sub for Montreal, 0-4 for Ibrahim. And then I forget exactly how this played out, but Pantomis actually got subbed. You don't see a goalkeeper sub often. I believe he was going up to contest a shot, and he hurt his wrist in some way, shape, or form. I do remember him being on the ground, grabbing that wrist, and you almost kind of knew, like, this was not one he was going to shake off. So, definitely wish the best recoveries for him. Well, hopefully we'll see him when we play again, but you don't like seeing an injury like that if it's going to be a long-term deal. And then just to close out the game, we 90th +2, Kremeshi for Pizarro, and then it had down on MLS. I didn't know Yedlin got hurt, but it was Neville on for Yedlin. So did you guys hear anything about Yedlin injury?
I had no idea he was hurt until you said those words right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of these are just kind of, getting a knock and wanting to prevent any more serious injury. Plus, why not let your kid get some playing time, right?
Don't start that train again. We don't need to. We don't need to leave the nepotism depot again, there, sir. So we're just gonna put that back in the shed. But
I will say that Neville looked much better on the right on Saturday than he did on the left against Austin in the preseason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, I'd say probably the first half stats were more in our favor than the overall stats. But as we, love to do so much once we go up, just start playing a little bit more defensive minded. Even though we did still have some nice counterattacks. But then run us through the kind of high level stats here.
Yeah, absolutely. So possession, as always, if it's your first time listening, we go Inter Miami, then the opponent. So possession 44 to 56%. Shots, we had 18 shots, which is kind of absurd to think that Inter Miami team had 18 shots on goal. But that was 18 to 14. Shots on goal 7 to 6. Passing accuracy 79% to 82%. Corners, it was equal at 4 to 4. Fouls, it was equal at 12 to 12. And the only two categories that we really care about here at the Inter Miami podcast, yellow cards, we lost the battle. We had 0 to their 1, and nobody had any red cards. So a little disappointed in the boys, hoping Franco Negri was going to go a little Punisher on them out there in the field. But, yeah, all in all, stats were definitely in Montreal's favor, but I'm not disappointed with where we, ended up on the stat sheet. Callie, what do you think of the stats going through those?
I think it supports our claim that we're abysmal at passing, just in general. 78% passing is tough. We'll give it day one jitters, I suppose. In terms of the cards, though, that was as good as the atmosphere was and as well as we played. That was one of the most poorly officiated games I've attended live.
Yep. He did not want to pull any cards.
Yeah, it was an absolute disaster. But I mean, you get 18 shots off, 7 on goal. That's something to, that's something to be proud of. Passing and crossing definitely that desperately needs to improve, but I'm happy with it. You're not always going to win the possession battle, and we know how, especially towards the end, how Phil can get when we're up by, especially the 2, we'll just start playing incredibly defensive football, and the story will write itself after that. Yeah.
I was pleased with our balanced attack, man. It was really pretty evenly dispersed. 31% to the left side, 36% of attacks were up the middle, and 33% to the right. In terms of shots, 67% coming from the middle, 28% on the right side, only 6% on the left side. But here's probably what I'm most proud of is the shot zones on this, right? They break it down 8-yard box, 18-yard box, and outside the box. 11% in the 8-yard box, 50% in the 18-yard box, and 39% from outside the box. I love when people just have a go. And there has been plenty of times in this organization's history where someone could be hitting a shot from outside the box and just they don't. They're always looking for that perfect pass in to cut the line. So I honestly like seeing those deeper shots. I know Mota is, he loves to take a good 30-yard ripper out there. But overall, I mean, I really like the balanced attack, at least the build up to the attack, and really working through the middle is something that has been not always there for us. I'd say we did improve on that last season, but certainly in the first 2 seasons, it seemed like we were just running to the flanks and crossing in there. So we're seeing signs of progress right now. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves or overconfident here, but it just feels really good to start off on the right foot and not be underwater after the opener. So I'll take it all day.
Listen, I saw, and I can't remember what minute it was, but I saw Mota starting to dribble towards the middle of the field, and all of a sudden the Red Sea started opening up, and I'm going, no. Look for the pass, and thank God he did, because I was getting ready to celebrate another Miami Dolphins field goal there. So I know how much you love it. You know how much I hate it. So
it's almost not an Inter-Miami game if Mota doesn't send it 25 rows up.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it is all love. Tradition. Yeah, it's tradition. It's all love for Mota here on the Inter Miami podcast. I know he definitely follows us on social, so just want to make sure it's out there. It's all love for Mota, and Jay loves your long shot ability, 99 overall. But looking a little in depth in the game, the good, the needs improvement, and the not so great. Good defensive additions of Negri and Sergey. I think we can all agree on that. Those were 2 solid pickups. I know that. I'm not going to name the podcast, but I know that there was one individual podcast who was not thrilled at the Sergey pickup, saying that we needed to look more towards the other parts of the world. Well,
he was called an obscure Ukrainian, for what it's worth.
Yes. Well, here he is. He did well. Stadium atmosphere.
Very well.
You guys will be able to speak to this more than I will. But from what I saw, stadium atmosphere, it was rocking and rolling. It looked absolutely can't miss atmosphere. What do you guys obviously think?
Yep. No, that's a highly accurate description. The vibe was on point. It was just good feelings, man. Everyone had that, those endorphins rushing, man, just from the feel good vibes. And it was, rewarded by the early goal, or not early goal, but, first half goal. And then, I'm just really happy we were able to kill off the game. I didn't want us to just fall back, and my fears were we were going to do what we've done, just fall back, play defense, and then end up giving something up in the second half and walking out with the draw. So I'll take it. And to your point, Than, I think Negri is the real deal. I mean, he looked really, really great out there, getting up into the attack as well. And then, Kryvtsov looked like a beast, and Stefanelli looked really good. The new pieces look good. They do. I still want to see more from Stefanelli. Hit a shot that, wasn't too far off. Could have played Pizarro on the 1-2 pass. I think Pizarro was, I don't want to say frustrated because he's in such a positive mental space right now, but he definitely wanted that ball back to take a shot. But I'm happy with the new additions. If this is the way it's going to be, and this wasn't just an outlier, then I think we're going to be pretty good as we continue to gel as a team.
Yeah,
well,
I think if this, sorry, go ahead then.
No, I was gonna say, me. I love smaller Argentinian, gonna cut your throat out defenders. So if Negri continues to be who we hope he is gonna be, that's definitely gonna be probably my new fan favorite.
Then, if you like small, feisty Argentinians, you should start tweeting at Lisandro Martinez to see if he'll give you a jersey. Maybe it'll work.
He's actually going to. He's actually going to.
But yeah. Man, Negri was super impressive to me. You can already see kind of the chemistry and the partnership forming between him and Pizarro, and just moving down that left side. The overlaps, the 1s and 2s that they played together, like it was so spot on. And if this is the offense we're gonna roll with, a lot of 1-touch passes, quick movements, flicks over the top. If this is the offense we're gonna roll with, I can die happy. Like I'll live and die by that, because it's exciting, it's pressing. We've heard Phil say he wants to play more attacking soccer, And we saw that. If this is a standard, I'm okay with, maybe a few defensive lapses over here, because if we're going to take 18 shots a game, you can live with that. Stefanelli was all over the place, man. He was like, he would press far up, he'd fall back, box to box. He was fantastic. I have no complaints about any of the new additions that played this weekend. And someone who I think is kind of getting lost in all this, who played incredibly, incredibly well, is Grigori. He was a bulldog. He just absolutely held it down, anchored down the defense. I was thoroughly, thoroughly impressed with how he played.
Agreed. Okay. No.
Yeah.
No.
Nah.
Oh, here he
See,
comes.
No, I expect that from him day in and day out. That's why he's getting lost in the sauce. I expect that from him. So to me, it was just another Gregory run. It was just another game from him. So that's why I didn't really call it out as he did well, because that's
how you spin it, huh? That's how you spin your negativity, huh?
Well,
Okay.
It's the truth.
Okay.
I talked about it all last year, the bulldog mentality that he has, and that's just what I expect day in and day out from him. So good on you. Like, keep doing what you're doing. You might get praise from Cali, but you're going to need to maybe do a little bit more to get praise from me. Moving on though, good. Again, we had substitutions at the right time. The press was being executed at a high level, like we talked about. There were still some errors as expected, but the team looked really well playing for each other. And that's a big phrase right there. Playing for each other. So we hope that cohesiveness continues on. And it's refreshing, not only just from the preseason that we had, but the past couple seasons where the team seemed fractured at points. I think last year was a real good healing point for us, but definitely some work that needs to be done. Jay, what do you think?
Agreed. Yeah, I want to see us continue to focus and work on that press. I think you can be a very lethal team if you can execute a high press. The fluidity was there in the past. We've seen the team be static. Not, maybe not making the runs to or for teammates. So possessions are short-lived, hard to string together several passes, but it seems like it's finally clicking. All I've ever wanted was just to see some fluidity out there and move the ball, play the beautiful game, play with passion, play with desire, and play for your teammate on your left and right. I mean, we've mentioned that consistently throughout the entire lifespan of this podcast. So it's very nice to see. And I'm just fingers crossed, hoping that this is for real. I'm hoping this is for real. I've been trying to remind myself, don't get too lost in it. But man, I was smiling ear to ear, I think, that entire game and for several hours after.
Well, Jay, what do I always tell you? Literally every time you get your hopes up, it's the hope that kills you.
That kills you.
Yes.
I know. So since you like to be a pessimist, go ahead. Where do we need to improve here, buddy? What were you seeing out there?
I don't think we need to beat a dead horse on this. We already talked about the final third play. Some shots we could have finished. Some crosses could have been better. And obviously Drake's distribution is being worked on. It's definitely being worked on. You can see that there's been improvements, but he still needs to tighten up in a couple areas. Again, that 10th minute could have been a real game changer for us. So I would like to see him continue on with his improvement of his distribution. Go ahead.
I don't think we touch on this enough. Drake made 4 pretty massive saves. Yes, one was his own fault, but Drake had a hell of a game. And unless I was zoned out or something, I don't know if we've given Drake enough praise. Yes, distribution still leaves something to be desired. He can improve on that, and we hope he does. But, man, he was making himself big and stopped several shots that could have gone in. And I think you said, maybe last year he might have let some of those go by. But, I mean, hell of a game to be a wall, right? We talk about the team playing well. We talk about the team getting their first win. I mean, how about Drake starting the season with a clean sheet, with several massive saves? There's still a game tonight, so we're not going to get the power rankings or anything like that. I'm not really sure exactly what the criteria would be for just 1 week of goalkeepers, but in my book, again, they're doing that wraparound show, so they're playing a lot of games at once, so you can't really watch as many games, I think, as you could in the past in one day, and to really be able to see as many teams as possible. But I mean, I'd be hard pressed if Drake isn't up there as a selection for, team of the week goalkeeper. I mean, massive saves. So happy to see that.
Yeah, I mean, Drake legitimately, and I hate to kind of exaggerate it this way, but it feels necessary. He made legitimately like 4 or 5 world-class goals on the weekend. And yeah, one of them was his fault. What did I say?
Definitely saves. Because if Drake scores 4 goals,
no, he's trying to put it out there, put the energy out there.
You know what? When he scores 4 goals against Philly, you're all going to remember this. You're all going to remember this.
Exactly.
But he made 4 world-class saves. One of them was his fault. He made that terrible pass back to Montreal, and he stopped it. But a couple of times that we felt the pressure of it, Drake didn't fold, man. I mean, when it comes to shot stopping, he's among the best in MLS. And that's not an exaggeration. We saw it last year, finalist for goalkeeper of the year. We saw it again last night. Distribution definitely still needs improvement. He gets, once they start pressing him, he gets a little nervous when getting it away from him. Ball at his feet gets me a little queasy, to quote a famous Miami coach. But shot stopping, I have zero concerns. I'm glad they extended him. He is a machine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Drake is one of 4, I do believe, that kept a clean sheet. If you look at the stat leaders on MLS's app, he's actually the one who they highlight the most. Is they only put one player's face up and one player's name up as league leader, and right now he's up there. But yeah. I mean, he's definitely pulling.
And that's
through.
not because it's alphabetical order, okay? That's because he is that guy.
Listen. Yes, he is that guy. He looked great. Just move on, Jay. I'm done with this. Move on. What do you have? Do you have anything that was ugly that you would like to talk about?
Man, I'm no. It was all positive vibes. I mean, I don't think anything was. There were things that need improvement, which we've discussed. I don't think there was anything super ugly or glaring. Played a fairly clean game. No yellow cards, no red cards. If I'm going to say, I guess, what's ugly, if I had, I'll go ahead and we'll go there. Crosses, right? Great, we scored off a corner. It's very rare that happens. But the crossing accuracy is pretty poor. Oftentimes they're not beating the first man, or they're sailing it way over. We really struggle to drop it anywhere near the middle of the 18-yard box. It seems very short or very long, and that's something that all good teams seem to be able to make plays off set pieces. It's kind of something you will see across any league is well organized set pieces. We don't really, I don't know who would we even identify as like our go-to set piece taker if they were going to have a shot on goal. But in terms of just being able to execute and at least get your head to a ball, that's what the good teams can do. And that's still the area that we are lacking, right? Kryvtsov's goal, he humped that ball in or chested it, however you want to say it. It wasn't, getting his head to it. And that's not his fault. That ball wasn't even high enough to where he could get his head to it. So that's something I would say, if I had to give something to the ugly category, it's going to be with our crossing accuracies.
So the only thing I want to touch on a positive and a negative. So looking at the actual MLS stats right now, Drake is technically the number 1 goalkeeper in the league with 100% save percentage. He was the only keeper to maintain 100% save percentage. Flipping that, if I'm going to talk about ugly, he is the worst in the league at pass percentage. Now, you might say, damn, that sucks, but he's also right next to Andre Blake, who had 45.8 and Drake was at 44.4%. So good and ugly, and he knows he's got to work on it, is what it is. But that would be the only real thing I would say is ugly. I would agree with you. We need to finish do a little bit better on the final third that we had already talked about. But Cali, what do you think?
Catch. Well, it looks like Fry's still at 100 as well, but
negative, sir.
Yeah,
he is not. I'm looking at it right now.
Am I looking in the wrong category?
You might be, but Cali, what do you think? You got anything ugly that you want to add to this?
Yeah, I mean, nothing that hasn't already been said. The crossing was terrible, passing was terrible. That definitely has to improve, or else it can definitely turn things sour really quickly. That's it. Yeah. That's all I got as far as ugly.
6 saves, by the way, right?
Yeah,
Drake,
6
Is that what
saves.
you're- yeah.
And-
So it's showing Fry at 100, but he only had 2 saves. So I would still put Drake above that anyway. I mean,
Correct.
it's pretty undeniable.
All right. Well, speaking about undeniable, speaking about something that is going to be absolutely massive, let's talk about, Eastern Conference. Because, we're in a position where we can say Inter Miami is currently second in the Eastern Conference.
Undefeated, baby.
I can't see us falling below that. There's no way that happens.
Nope.
This is the highest we've ever been. Yeah.
Yep.
And
After game 1, absolutely.
And here's something that we haven't mentioned. Is this like the first time ever we've had a positive goal differential? I literally think this is the first time this team has ever had a positive goal differential.
That would actually make sense considering how poorly we started every year.
Yeah, no, and we're always just kind of at the bottom of the East with that. So, technically tied for second with Nashville, who also has a goal differential of 2 as well. So next week we are going against Philly, so we'll go ahead and get into that as well. But the real test comes up here, man. But hey, let's enjoy the next 5 days, 6 days. Time is a construct. I don't even know. Let's enjoy this. Let's just enjoy that opener, that solid start, and then we'll see exactly. We're gonna have our metal tested, see where we stand.
Well, and not only are we second in the Eastern Conference, but sir, we are third for the Supporters Shield. So watch out.
Yeah.
What a time.
What a time to be alive.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us. I know we're all going to be just patiently waiting for MLS Power Rankings to come out tomorrow, whenever they do, probably sometime in the afternoon. I would be absolutely shocked if they have us anywhere near the top 5. They're probably going to throw us at like 18 per usual. They love that 15 to 20 range for us. It's like, yeah, they started off, but hey, still Miami. We hate them.
What were we, 25 in the MLS Power Rankings last week? Something like that?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
I would not be surprised if I wake up and see we're like dead last. So like, welcome to Miami. Anyways, moving on. Like that's all the blurb will say.
Second to last with Montreal being last, or Montreal above us somehow.
And their argument's going to be that our strikers don't defend for some reason.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. And our goalkeepers don't score 4 a game.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's coming.
Not yet. Not yet. All right. Well, we're going to move on to the next match. As Jay would like to say, we're going against my closet favorite team this week. We are going against the Philadelphia Union, 2 hours from my backyard. We are actually going to be playing at DRV PNK Stadium, 7:30 p.m. It's going to be a good time. It's like you already said, it's going to really test out the team, see where we're at. They came out full of fire and brimstone. They beat Columbus 4-1. Just giving you a little bit of history about the team. They were founded in 2008. They played at Subaru Park. They won the Supporters Shield in 2020. They were the Eastern Conference playoff champs 2022, and they won the Eastern Conference regular season in 2020 and 2022. All-time versus Inter Miami, Philly has 3 wins. There's 2 draws. And the lone win I got to see in person, which I am thrilled about, it was the Higuain brothers, I believe right after their mom passed away. It was that game. So definitely, a series that has been dominated by Philly. Go
ahead and give us a good doo-wop, fan. Go ahead and let it out. I know you want to.
A doo-wop? Are you just trying to get me to actually say what it really is? Because doo-wop is not what it is.
Dupe, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it.
I forgot what it is. It's a song in the stadium. That's all I know.
I'm not going to say it. Anyways, players to watch. We all know Carranza. That's kind of the one that got away for us, it feels like some days. We have Bedoya, Gazdag, Cali Urrutia, and Kai Wagner. I mean, I could sit there and talk about any other player on their defensive back line, like Lesnes or Elliott. Shout out Damian Lowe. They're backup to their backup now. The team.
He was on the bench. He is.
No, he is. And, I know you're going to give me shit for this because, again, you like to say it's closet support them. But that team, front to back, is just 100% solid.
They're ridiculous.
Best back line in the league, right? Clear, bar none.
Yeah, I would say best back line, and arguably, because he won it last year, best goalkeeper in the league. Andre Blake makes some ridiculous things happen in between the sticks. So, how you guys feeling coming up to the game with the Union?
And I'm sorry to chime in, but let's not also forget that Gazdag had 22 goals last year. So
Yeah, no big deal.
And Carranza had a breakout year as well. I mean,
yeah, he had 14.
just to rub salt
Yuri
in
had
our
13.
wound.
Yeah.
And I already know Damian Lowe's going to win Defender of the Year and probably score 13 headers. Like it's what happens when you leave Miami, baby. It's what happens, man. You leave
If he
Miami.
ever sees the field.
If he ever,
it's because they're winning 6-0.
Yeah. So how are we feeling, Cali? Take it. How are you doing? What's the vibe?
Man, this is it. If we really believe that we're, a top team in the East, these are the games we have to compete in. Philly's ridiculous. Don't know if you guys saw the assist from Joaquin Torres to Carranza for the fourth goal was just dumb, just stupid, just ridiculous. I mean, they're like, what's a negative you can say about them? They have arguably the best keeper in the league. Two guys
penalties, bro.
Yeah, penalties. Yeah, but
their shirt sponsor is Bimbo. That's the negative I can say. Bimbo Bakeries. They just have Bimbo across their chest. But anyways.
They got taken down by the backup keeper, Big John,
Big J-Mac.
Another inner player just going out there and just being the man once you're gone, man. It's tough. It's tough out here for the Miami fans.
Yeah, man. But they score for fun. But like you said, Jay, best back line, but one of the best keepers. It's hard to find a hole, man. Like if there's a team that's going to blow anybody out, it's going to be Philly week in and week out.
I mean, DC will tell you all too well about that from last year. So they're probably seeing 4-1 being posted against the Crew and going, damn, here we go again. Just like that GTA meme. So.
What's your prediction, Cali?
I hate doing this.
I know, but I make us do it all the time, and we're always wrong.
Man, I'm gonna say we maybe I'm giving us a little too much credit. I think we lose 3-2.
All right, Dan.
No, you go.
Me go. All right. I feel like anytime I say we're gonna lose, we play better. But I'm gonna go 2-2 draw.
You going with a draw?
I'm going with a draw.
That
I don't want to be overconfident
here.
I don't want to jinx us. Well, you know what? I'm wrong more times than not on these predictions anyway. I am absolutely bummed. I'm not going to be there for this one, so Callie, you're going to have to hold it down for me.
Gotcha, baby.
I'll be out of the country. I will be testing the international regulations around Apple Plus, so I really hope this goes well because I'll probably be at some very late stage of inebriation with a cigar in my mouth in a pool somewhere in the Dominican Republic. So Godspeed, boys. Bring me a draw. Make me look smart, please.
All right, I guess I'm going with a 4-1 loss. I'm saying that
I almost said that, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I know it's easy just to pick that against, the crew result from the past week, but there's just too many weapons on that field for Philly for me not to believe that we're gonna have a hard time. It's definitely not Montreal. And I know Jay just wants to say it. Just go ahead. Just go ahead and say it.
No, I'm laughing at myself because I know how ridiculous a winning prediction or even a draw is, honestly.
Yeah. And you know what? If they draw or they win, we all get egg in our face, and I'll be perfectly happy with that. But
if they draw, I look smart, so I'm happy.
Yeah, with a game like this, I'm just looking for us to compete. I don't want to see us get blown out. I don't have an expectation to beat Philly, but if we can scare them a little bit, we can rattle the cage. I'm happy with that. I
don't want to see us fold.
Yeah.
That's what I'm concerned about. Right? We've seen that happen many times in the past.
Yeah.
I want to see us, even if we go down, we play hard. We take away some positives. We learn. It's a long season. We don't need to beat Philly right now. We're going to need to beat them in the playoffs, right? So as long as we can improve and get there, we all know in the summer once Messi and Busquets come or Busquetsy, whatever nickname they've paired the two with, like Benifer. If they come, hey, hell, we're gonna have a really great chance of probably bringing home the MLS Cup if we continue to play well. But it's a very, very tall order, and this is going to be a good measuring stick. And I think that whatever the result be, probably going to be a loss. I think there's a lot that Neville and the squad can learn and hopefully improve on throughout the season.
My concern is that if we give up a goal within the first 15 minutes, Philly is just going to tighten the screws down defensively. If you've watched any of their games, as soon as they go up, that back line just turns on to another level. They just continuously bring the pressure. They don't give you an inch of breathing room, which then allow, Gazdag, Carranza, and the rest of the crew to just vault up and do attack. And before you know it, you're being blitzed. I feel like if we can make it outside that first 15 and we stay competitive and all of a sudden we start to believe that we're in the game, it could be a positive outcome, but I'm not banking on it, if I'm being honest.
And big if would be if Campana's back, right? Minor strain. Correct. Hopefully he's back. Obviously, we would like to have Campana and Josef Martinez up top. That would be probably the best option to net the amount of goals we will need to beat them. I don't see Drake keeping a clean sheet in this one because they'll hit you from everywhere and they will be relentless. But yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's getting past that, looking at the rest of the schedule for next week. A couple games caught my eye. Atlanta versus Toronto. They got two teams that are pretty identical makeup. Toronto's looking to bounce back after their kind of shocking loss at DC. I don't think any one of us would have predicted Toronto to be beat by DC in the opening week. And then Atlanta looking to avoid late dramatics from their World Cup winning superstar Thiago Almada. Tight all-time series. Atlanta 4 wins. There's 4 draws, and Toronto has 5 wins. So all in all, that probably should be a really good game. Looking at St. Louis versus Charlotte for my second game of the week. St. Louis, welcome to the league. And that's all I can really say. I know for a fact no one picked St. Louis to beat Austin, especially in Austin. We're looking to see, if St. Louis can keep the magic rolling and if Charlotte can avoid just another dud. And I know it's saying a lot coming from us because our teams haven't been the greatest, but the amount of support that Charlotte is getting and the team is just not responding is astounding to me. Like the beautiful tifos, the fact that Bank of America Stadium is bouncing up, down, left, right, and then they come out and they play like another level lower of Burnley ball. That's what it reminds me of. Just meh. So yeah, those are my 2 games of the week. What are you guys looking forward to this week?
Me personally, I'm interested in the LAFC Portland game. LAFC obviously established themselves as one of the best teams in the league. Portland is a team that can really beat anyone on any given day as well. Always like watching them play. So that's the one I'll certainly be watching. It's from the newly named BMO Stadium in LA.
Cali, what are you looking forward to this upcoming week?
I think we have 2 pretty good games here, and both of them with significance in the East. I hate to even say their name, but the team a little north from us, just up 75, plays Cincinnati. 2 teams, very high expectations for both clubs. It's always fun to see two teams with high expectations battle it out. I love Cincinnati, one of the funner teams to watch. I always try and watch them when I get a chance. Love the way Brenner plays. And then New York Red Bulls and Nashville. I know, Than, you're particularly high in the Red Bulls this year with your Scottish fellow over there. But yeah, two teams that all these guys are going to be fighting for some sort of contention in the East. So I think those are games that we need to pay attention to, see how they fold out, and for what we need to expect for us, expecting to compete in the East as well.
Yeah, that definitely should be a good matchup. I think the Red Bull came out a little flat the first week, and honestly, as much as I'm looking forward to Orlando tanking out, I don't think it's actually going to be a thing. I think we're going to have some interesting battles with them coming up. I don't want to say they look impressive, but they definitely had a solid win against the Red Bull in week 1. So, looking past that, a little bit of headlines from the past week. Again, I kind of alluded to it a little bit ago. Thiago Almada. Wow. What can you say? What can you say? 90th plus 3, 90th plus 9. None of them easy tap-ins. I believe they were all outside the box. Correct me if I'm
They
wrong,
were.
fellas. That they
They
were.
Yeah, one was a set piece, and then one was just a rocket.
Yeah.
It was
Rocket off the
insane.
bar. Oh, just
And someone was like people were giving crap for like they all hyped him up as like World Cup champion and all that stuff, even though like he wasn't like a starter, played a ton in the World Cup,
registered 6
And,
minutes in the World Cup.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, the announcers keep saying it. It's so annoying. He isn't even playing well. Then like boom, just comes in and just wins the game for him.
Yep.
Absolutely,
Just cold-blooded, man. Just
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was as just an overall soccer fan, I'm sitting there watching that going, damn, okay, that was nice. That was nice. Something that wasn't so nice. While St. Louis did shock Austin, can we talk about that goal? We all know that goal.
I have no idea how that happens.
The goal that is making its way around that looked like something straight out of FIFA. The defender for Austin starts dribbling around the field. He then turns and just out of nowhere passes it straight to the St. Louis attacker, who then puts it in the back of the net.
Mm-hmm.
What was that about? Like what?
That's like when I'm playing pro clubs and like I get frustrated and I just try and pass back and then I give it to the other team and they score. I mean, I don't know.
I like the move in the box though. It was a nice move in the box to get, and then a little toe poke, little outside spin, reverse spin, toe poke to get around. It was nice. I mean, I was there at the preseason game, and like the one thing I really noticed about them is the level of communication they have was so much higher than what Inter Miami was at the time. Right, this is a few weeks ago. I mean, very very vocal with everything. They look about it. Great. I mean, I say that like half-heartedly because, I hate seeing all these other expansion teams come in and play better than us, which is probably why I always like keep an eye on Nashville, just because that's a good barometer. We both start at the same time, but congrats, St. Louis. I'm gonna go ahead and say congrats. Way to make a good statement on your home opener and your debut to the MLS. Welcome to the league. I hope you don't do that to us this season.
So Tim Parker scoring the first goal for them.
Yeah. Well, and I think also getting lost in the sauce is that ridiculous Driussi goal. That
gosh.
chip. It won't get remembered because they lost, but that was
it was nice. I
good.
love a good chip.
Yeah, I love a little bit of chips, a little bit of dip all year.
It gave me flashbacks to Carlos Vela against Luis Robles.
Oh yeah.
That's the first thought I had. It's like, I know. Yeah, that was all too familiar.
All right, well, trying to keep things positive here on the Inter Miami podcast and not going back into flashbacks. No, I mean, I'm only saying positive because of my disdain for Citigroup. New York City FC, we all knew that they were going to have a rebuild, a possible project year, but boy, they looked terrible, at least for me, against Nashville. They looked.
Love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, you love to see it. However, I do not love to see it for our boy Pellegrini. He just never got into it. He looked like he's going to have a couple goal scoring opportunities. The Magno project where he's going in to play the false nine does not look like it's panning out. The possession stats were in their favor entirely, but that's to be expected against a team like Nashville that would rather take all the pressure all the way to their back line and then spring out the counterattack. It was definitely, like I said, it was definitely shocking to see how poor they played against Nashville. What do you guys think?
Warms my soul.
Yeah, but exactly, right? I mean, they took us out of the playoffs with after you came down to come hang out with the squad then. So I don't, no mercy. Rebuild year, whatever. Get over it. No more Tati. They're gonna have to identify a new identity. So it's fine with me. Stuff that caught my eye though, last night. Welcome back, Seattle. Thanks for taking a year off for the league's sake, but way to come back in full force and just completely destroy the Rapids. But thought that was pretty interesting. To be fair, they have had a little bit of an earlier start to their season, but they look to be back in full force. So that'll be a fun race in the West because it was very strange seeing them out of the playoffs because that never happens. They're always in the playoffs, but not last year. Another thing that caught my eye, kind of, not as great as Almada's goals for Atlanta. But shout out to DC United with the last minute win.
Oh, yeah.
2 very late goals from Christian Benteke, who came over from Crystal Palace. Now he's going to get his first full season here. Scores in the 90th minute, and then Ku DiPietro in the 90th +8 to secure the win over the Italians of Toronto.
Yeah, that was a wild comeback for them in DC. Good on Benteke. He was a pleasure to meet last year. DC looks like, I don't know, hopefully they're getting all the kinks out of their system, because the league is only as good as when, at least for me, when DC is actually on their game, and one of the old traditional powerhouses is moving forward. So, Cali, is there anything that caught your eye from this past week?
Yeah, since you mentioned DC United, they started a 16-year-old who actually played really well, Mattia Akinboni, 16 years old, date of birth October 17, 2006. Feel about that how you will. The Seattle game, that was the only match I was able to watch on TV, given that I was at Drive Pink all day Saturday. Seattle looked incredible from the jump, man. They were very good. And I think everyone can agree that the league is better. It's more enjoyable. Specifically, the West is better when the Cascadia teams are better. I think last season was the first season in MLS history that neither one of them were in the playoffs. So good change of pace. Something that I thought was interesting. I'm very, very high on Dallas this year. Minnesota beat them 1-0. Very, very good goal came from Minnesota too. So I'm that was one that really stuck out to me.
Why are you so high on Dallas this year, Cali, if you don't mind me asking?
Man, that was a random question, but I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very high on Jesus Ferreira. Dude's a baller, balled last year. And they're a team I've always kind of had a soft spot for. I think they've kind of set the standard in terms of developing talent within the MLS. Yeah. And then, shipping them off overseas. They have 2 homegrown guys whose name escape me at the moment that are on a lot of watch lists that are guys that can perform very highly this year. I just love the team, man. I love the way their offense plays. They're a team that's going to score a lot of goals. I think that's very MLS friendly in terms of success within the league. Defensively, they're okay, but they were amongst the best scoring teams last year, and I think they just got better over the offseason.
Hey, fair enough. I mean, to be fair, I don't watch a single FC Dallas, minus when we play them. So the only name I know on that roster is Jesus Ferreira. One name that we admittedly did not talk about, and this will be the last thing we talk about for last week, Kai Kamara finally got his trade. We were prepping to see him play against our boys at Drive Pink, but now he is joining Chicago. Do you think he's going to add anything positive to Chicago, boys?
He's a journeyman. The dude can score goals. Where does he sit on like the all-time scores at MLS? It's like 3rd or 4th. Like,
yeah,
he's
I know he's top 5.
Yeah, dude's definitely up there. I think Chicago needs some help. I think it'll be good for the squad. We'll see. I mean, it's tough.
He's 4th, by the way.
He's 4th. Okay. So, maybe it works out. Maybe it doesn't. Age catches up with everyone. But I think if you can have someone in there who has been a proven goal scorer in the league to, take some pressure off of Shaqiri, so he's not just having to be the main goal threat, playing out of midfield, I think it could work out. We'll see. Chicago's definitely had some recent years of struggling compared to, maybe where they've been in the past. So, we'll certainly see.
His career list is absolutely wild if you go back and look at it. First off, he was playing in college in 2004. Okay. He played for the Orange County Blue Star, the Columbus Crew, the San Jose Earthquakes, Houston Dynamo, Sporting KC, then went out on loan to Norwich City, went to Middlesbrough, played for Columbus again, went to the Revs, played for Vancouver, played for the Rapids, played for Minnesota, played for a team at HIFK, played for Montreal, and now Chicago.
So you're also missing that he played. You're also missing that he played for not just Sporting KC, but the Kansas City Wizards before the rebrand.
Absolutely correct. You are right. So, yeah, to say he's a journeyman is definitely underselling it a little bit there, Jay, I would imagine.
Yeah. I mean, he's almost 30,000. What is his total minutes played? Yeah. 1 goal, 144. He's 1 goal away from taking down Moreno in at least, or not taking him, but tying him for third. So, I mean, he's what are we looking at here? 16 goals off from Landon Donovan, 20 goals off. Or no, sorry, I can't even do math right now. 30 goals off from Wondolowski. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see how it works out, man. We will see how it works out. It's going to be a long season. It's going to be a fun season.
Yeah,
100%.
Chicago, a team that was among the worst in scoring last year, surprisingly, with guys like with the experience of Shaqiri and then obviously Chibelko too. Both of them struggled.
Oh yeah,
yeah, they definitely struggled to put the ball in the net. It can only help. I think once those two guys have a support guy like Kamara, and especially a guy that's so seasoned in the MLS like him, I think it can only help Chicago. So,
agreed.
Yeah, absolutely. Jay, you want to touch on some Inter Miami news, good sir?
I don't know. What do we have? I'm trying to think. We'll keep everyone posted on injuries and everything. Am I missing anything? Did you follow me something I can't recall right now?
I did, absolutely. We have a new on-air talent moving from the field to Apple TV, sir.
Kieran Gibbs. So yeah, and I love this, right? Because I'm American. I love America. I'm about as patriotic as you can be. But in this sport, it just sounds better if with an accent. If we're gonna get rid of Ray Hudson, we need to replace him with someone from the UK. We need that vibe, and Kieran Gibbs seems actually pretty natural in that role. So looking forward to that. Everything sounds better, sounds more intelligent, sounds more classy if there's a British accent on it. And yeah, I'm all for that, man. I was very, very excited to see that. That does free up an international spot for us. That does free up the number 5 kit as well as our number 10 kit remaining vacant. And I'm trying to think like what 2 guys have played in those numbers that would fit in there. And yeah, the names just kind of can't grasp them right now. I wonder who it would be.
I mean, it can't be Busquets because his charred remains are being left in the Europa League floor at Old Trafford, so there's definitely not much left to him. But moving forward, we also signed one of our draft picks. Seemed like this was never going to happen. Absolutely seemed like just our draft picks went by the wayside. But Cole Jensen signed through the end of the current season with club options for 2024, 2025, and 2026. So adds an interesting dynamic to the goalkeeper locker room with Dos Santos and I believe Zulaga and obviously Drake. So hopefully the kid will pan out. Yeah, I kind of forgot about Marsman, but yeah, you're right. Kind of feels
got some
like
people he can learn from.
Yeah,
we'll see. I wasn't a massive fan of that pick, but
nope.
I'm glad that we finally got him assigned right before the season kicked off. Not that we had several months to do that, but hey, whatever. We got parking figured out too, but let's not even get into let's not get into that.
Jay, we said we have to be positive.
Positive news. We probably should have made this a bigger announcement at the beginning of the show, but as you've noticed if you followed us on social, the IMPC Universe is up and expanding, and Cali joined us today. Again, he is hosting Away Days with Brandon Griffin. Cali, just a quick overview of what Away Days is. I'll let you say it so I don't steal your thunder.
I appreciate that. Away Days, it's basically just a general MLS podcast. I mean, you two do a pretty steady job of anchoring down the Inter Miami stuff. That's why I said pretty steady. And I'm being
when
nice. I'm on your show.
I can keep place on the script, and maybe not lose where the news is that fan tries to lob me. And I'm like, where is it?
It's like the antithesis of like the Dwayne Wade and LeBron photo, right? But yeah, just general MLS talk. We've gone through the Western Conference. We had an awesome interview with Elias Gregorius from Montreal FC's podcast, The Ball Is Round. And those are just the kind of things that we're gonna be doing this week. We'll be recording our Eastern Conference. Actually, we just did Eastern Conference. Sorry. We'll be reviewing the week that just passed, the week coming, and just some things that stood out to us and some things we'll expect for the week coming.
And tell them about the collab you're doing this week, because I'm really upset I'm not going to be there.
Yeah. So we will be interviewing a host of a Philadelphia Union podcast, recording shortly, and looking forward to talking to him. Looking forward to chatting him up. We had an awesome talk with Elias from Montreal, so I'm hoping that carries over into this, and it's going to be exciting stuff.
This is the trash talking one, though, right?
Correct. Yeah. It is a 3v3 smackdown of epic proportions.
I didn't want to say it, but I'm glad you guys did.
I cannot wait. It's called like Major League Screamers or something.
Yeah,
something like that. Man, it looks fun. I love getting with the boys and just ripping on each other and having fun. So check that out. Also, IMCF Traveler Chats is also live on the Inter Miami podcast universe, and there is another show coming up very, very soon. There will be 4 other good news coming, more in text format, and a new and improved, revamped website for everything Inter Miami podcast universe related. It's I'm excited for all this. We will continue to drop hints and announce when things go live, but yeah, man. I mean, this was a good podcast to get back on. We've been focused on trying to get the other shows up and running, everyone on the same page and in the same similar cadence here. So happy to be back on the mic. Still feel a little rusty, but we're only going to get better as the season goes on. Than, Cali, do you guys have anything else to state?
No, I mean, it's almost like with everything else we've had going on, we kind of forgot that we had our own podcast that we had to do. So it's definitely kind of glad to get back on here with you. And hopefully we're not shedding too many tears of the 2023 season here. And it'll be another good season for us.
Feels good so far. As always, follow us on social media, Twitter at InterMIA Podcast and Instagram at Inter Miami Podcast. Yeah, I'm just going to enjoy this feeling until 7:29 on Saturday. That's how long I'm going to enjoy this one for. As always, though, thank you for listening as we end every single episode. Vamos, Miami.
Vamos, Miami.